On this day in Tudor history, the 3rd of November 1568, a brilliant mind was lost to the world of learning. Nicholas Carr, physician, classical scholar, and Regius Professor of Greek at Cambridge, died and was laid to rest at St Michael's Church in the city he'd served for most of his life. A monument to him still stands in nearby St Giles's Church, a quiet tribute to one of the men who helped shape the study of Greek in 16th century England. So who was Nicholas Carr, and why does he matter? I'm historian and author Claire Ridgway, and let's take a closer look at the life of this fascinating Tudor scholar. Nicholas Carr was born in late 1522 or early 1523 in Newcastle upon Tyne. It was a time when the classical world, the works of Plato, Aristotle and the Greek orators, was being rediscovered and debated in England's universities. Carr's brilliance was noticed early. He was educated first at Christ's College, Cambridge, and then at Pembroke College, where he came under the influence of Nicholas Ridley, the same Ridley who would later become Bishop of London and die as one of the Oxford martyrs under Queen Mary I. Carr's years under Ridley's teaching left a mark, both intellectually and spiritually. Ridley's passion for learning and reform shaped many of Cambridge's brightest young men, and Carr was among them. In 1546, when Henry VIII founded Trinity College, Cambridge, Nicholas Carr became one of its first fellows. He was now part of a new generation of Tudor scholars, men who combined deep classical learning with reformist ideas. 5 years later, in 1551, Carr's abilities earned him one of the most prestigious academic positions in England. He succeeded John Cheke as Regius Professor of Greek at Cambridge, stepping into the role after Cheke left to become tutor to the young King Edward VI. Carr wasn't just a caretaker, he carried forward Cheke's humanist vision. Together, men like Cheke, Roger Ascham and Carr were transforming English scholarship, promoting Greek studies at a time when understanding the language of the New Testament was seen as essential to reforming religion itself. Carr published his first work in 1551, a eulogy dedicated to the great Protestant reformer Martin Bucer. It was a heartfelt tribute written to Cheke, his friend and predecessor, mourning a man who'd fought for reformed theology and academic freedom. Carr's later writings reveal both his classical learning and his concern for the state of English scholarship. One of his other works, whose title translates to On the Scarcity of British Writers and the Obstacles to Learning, is a passionate defence of education, lamenting how few in England were dedicating themselves to letters and study. Carr also worked as a translator, producing Latin versions of important Greek texts such as Eusebius's Life of Constantine and the orations of Demosthenes, the great Athenian statesman and orator. These were not simple exercises, they were vital works of transmission, bringing the Greek world into the intellectual bloodstream of Tudor England. In 1558, Carr made a practical choice. He qualified as a physician, not out of vanity but necessity. He had a family to support, a wife and 3 daughters. It's easy to picture him, a man of books and learning, but also of responsibility, balancing his academic life with the realities of family and survival in a changing world. Carr's health declined in the mid-1560s, and on the 3rd of November 1568, he died in Cambridge, the city that had been his home for decades. Nicholas Carr may not be a household name today, but in his own time he was at the forefront of English humanism. He helped carry the torch of Greek scholarship from the generation of Cheke and Ascham into the Elizabethan age, bridging the worlds of reform, medicine and classical learning. As I said, he was buried at St Michael's Church, Cambridge, and remembered at St Giles's Church with a monument that still honours him. So next time you think of Tudor scholars, don't just think of theologians and courtiers. Remember men like Nicholas Carr, who brought the ancient world to Tudor England and left behind a legacy that still echoes in the halls of Cambridge today. If you enjoyed this episode, then please do like, subscribe and ring that bell for more daily stories from Tudor history. the people, the events, and the ideas that shaped that dynasty. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.